Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Tarks Gauntlet, and I just got a really quick recommendation for you guys today. It's hard to make a full review out of this given what it is, but for those interested, listen in close. Recently, Highway Blossom's co-creator Jay Kaplan reached out to me on Twitter to offer me a review code for their new creation, Heart of the Woods. Developed under their new studio brand, Studio Elan, and published by Sekai Works. Highway Blossoms itself was a visual novel I found myself unexpectedly enamored with. It was an excellent execution of a small story of two girls on a large adventure, and all the romance and heartbreak that comes along with it, set to a stunning backdrop of mystery and treasure hunting across the American Southwest. Of course, with how much I gravitated towards that story, I was interested in keeping up with their future works and to see if capturing something equally as gripping would be like trying to capture lightning in a bottle for a second time. Well, I've played through Heart of the Woods and can say with confidence that the writing in Highway Blossoms wasn't just a one-off thing. Heart of the Woods starts with a very unique premise. Our two main characters, Tara and Maddie, are content creators for YouTube, but they run more of an upscale type of network, where they fly all around the world investigating paranormal activities. This show is aptly named Taranormal after the host, Tara. Prior to setting off on their latest investigation though, Maddie discloses to Tara that this will be her last episode, and that following this adventure she will be leaving the show to return to school. This of course creates a bit of a tension and awkwardness, as Tara and Maddie were more than just co-workers on this program. But it is something Maddie has convinced herself she needs to do, and Tara must simply respect her wishes. I've seen similar setups like this before in movies, like the duology The Houses That October Built. However, they used that setup to fuel a horror narrative. Never have I seen it used to fuel a romance narrative like this, and this immediately made the game stand out as unique and intriguing to me. This last investigation takes place in a small insular town, secluded from most of the world, and buried deep in some snowy woods and mountains. According to their lead, there have been sightings of ghost-like apparitions and glowing orbs surrounding the forest. Like Highway Blossoms, this story has the big gay, and I mean that as more than just a meme. Heart of the Woods is a Yuri romance visual novel, and the writing and dialogue sells the romance very well. Throughout their investigation, Tara and Maddie meet many new people who do a great job of fleshing out this small town, and really establishing just what a small town feels like. At least, as somebody who grew up in a small town with a population of roughly 500 people, I feel like they've done a great job with this. However, some of the people they meet in town raise questions and suspicions about their final case, and whether or not the person who led them here can actually be trusted. Though the dialogue and romance stays very grounded, familiar, and impactful, and does very well to introduce complicated emotions and problems involving jealousy, envy, and resentment, you can expect the events along the way to feel like a massive departure from what they had previously done with Highway Blossoms, as the overarching story and the mystery of the town gets very big and may require some suspension of disbelief. In a manner of speaking, we get into some real over-the-top Scooby-Doo stuff on our paranormal investigation, although I won't say much more about it than that, except to maybe state that the reveals and pacing of these events are executed with grace, and grace enough to make the required suspension of disbelief very easy to acquire. At times, the tension and shock of it all can be quite riveting. Really, an excellently written visual novel that is as different from Highway Blossoms as it is the same. So if you like Highway Blossoms, this game should be on your radar. At times, it's an almost wicked fairy tale, where the bright and shining moments are matched equally by dark and far-reaching shadows. In terms of technicals, the art in this game is fantastic, which I'm happy to see, as backgrounds was one of my biggest complaints with their other works. There's also content restoration patches for the adult content, which like before is written with care. It's not just fat material, it's expanded character development and interaction. There's no voiceovers as of yet, but self-voicing can be enabled if you feel particularly lazy and don't mind a robot voice. The music really fills in the game nicely, though some parts are left silent for a little longer than I'd like. You can also listen to the soundtrack whenever you want from the extras menu of the game, provided you've come across the song at least once in the game already, and you can revisit any of the art in the art gallery as well. The auto text progression seems to work without any issues at all, and with the auto progression turned up to about 75% for the entirety of the game, this took just under 10 hours to complete. There's not many decisions to make along the way, but they do exist. As far as typos go, there's a couple, but they're excessively minor. At best, there might be a word or two every chapter, where a couple letters are typed in the wrong order, but nothing any more extreme than that. I think the price is worth it, but I do know how a lot of people feel towards visual novels, and for some of you this may be too much. But bear in mind the frequency to which these things go on sale. If you're interested at all, add it to your wish list. I don't think this is one to be missed. If I had to make any complaints at all, it's minor, but this ballerina spinning down here, it's just there to show you by the color of the graphic whose internal monologue is being expressed. But I find it a bit larger than necessary and a little distracting at times as a result. Otherwise, yeah, really enjoyed it. A sweet romantic adventure with a paranormal slant. It doesn't exactly break new ground aside from making good non-Japanese produced visual novels a more common thing, but what it offers is what any visual novel should. A good story with good characters and some good art and music to boot. A great one-off experience with some real moving and sweet moments. A fun mystery and some additional shocking and gripping moments to go along with them. What more do you really need? Anyway, that's all I have to say on Heart of the Woods. A quick look, I know, but when a game isn't really mechanically heavy, there's not much I can do beyond hit the story a bit and express how I felt towards it. If you guys liked the video or found it useful at all, you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you can. If you really like the content, consider supporting the show on Patreon. And as always, folks, thanks for watching.